Not everything that can be counted counts, and not everything that counts can be counted. And let's dive into some of the things that can't necessarily be quantified, but I think actually do count. Alrighty, so the number one thing of the variables that can't necessarily be quantified, but I think count, is managing your hunger and cravings. So being able to tell the difference between being actually hungry and having a craving is going to be important. What's more important than that is going to be building in pauses where we can actually decide whether or not we are hungry or craving something. There is a quote that I like here: between stimulus and response, there's a space. And that space we are trying to magnify so that we can make the decisions that are most effective for our goals. So although we can't necessarily quantify our ability to manage our hunger and cravings, we can build in actionable steps. So the first thing that I like to do is I like to build in a 10-minute gap so that I can assess whether or not I am actually feeling hungry or if I'm just cravey. Another thing you can do is assess your environment. Are you in an environment that is enriched per se? Are there a lot of foods around that you necessarily crave and or want, and at this time or at this time point in your diet can't really have? That will add to the perception of being hungry when in reality you might just be cravey. So building in a 10-minute gap where you get yourself out of the environment and can assess whether or not these feelings you have are actually hunger pangs or just cravings. Part two of this actionable step is in the off season, whenever I'm still trying to hit particular macronutrient goals, let's say I'm getting closer to dieting, if I am no longer in a gaining phase, and let's say I've transitioned to sort of a maintenance phase, I have a rule. If I am feeling hungry, to assess whether or not I'm cravey, I have particular foods that it's okay for me to eat. So if I am feeling hungry, I'm allowed to eat as much broccoli and or egg white wraps as I would like in this maintenance phase. If those things don't sound appetizing and I feel like I'm still hungry, I'm more than likely feeling cravey than hungry. If I'm actually feeling hungry, egg white wraps and broccoli are going to be appetizing enough to eat. If not, then I'm feeling cravey. And that is just a short rule that has worked for me. So be able to distinguish between hungry and craving. Now, the number two thing is going to be very closely related, and that is going to be how you regulate your emotions. So any number of things can throw us off plan, throw us off our training plan, throw us off our nutrition plan. And as sort of biological creatures that exist in a biopsychosocial framework, we have multiple avenues that things can go awry. So psychologically speaking, we can have stress, anxiety, low mood, any number of emotional and psychological things that can throw us off of our training, that can cause us to skip a training day, that can cause us to overeat on plan. And by being able to identify these emotions, we can then achieve our goals more easily. So how do we do that? So the first thing I like to do here is, well, number one, being able to identify what you're feeling. That's really the first step. Are you feeling anxious? Are you feeling sad? Are you worried about something? Are you distressed? You have to be able to figure out what it is you are feeling. And then before you act, you want to build in, again, similar to hunger and cravings, you want to build in sort of a reset or a break, a space for you to make an appropriate decision. And so I like to do this sort of 90-second to 2-minute reset where I do some 4, 6, 8 breathing. And so what does that look like? I do 3 to 5 rounds of 4, 7, 8 breathing. And so that's in for 4 through my nose, hold for 7 seconds, and then exhale for 8 seconds. What does this actually do for me? If I do 3 to 5 rounds of this slows my respiration rate down. It shifts me from a sympathetic to a parasympathetic state, calms my nerves, and it allows me to tame these emotions that are causing me any amount of distress. Then after you've tamed those emotions, you then want to ask yourself this question: what is one small step that I can take that will get me in the direction of my goals? And do that thing immediately. Because remember, after we identify our emotions and sort of downregulate how we're feeling, the next step is to move in a particular direction. We want to avoid moving towards things that are going to take us away from our goals and towards things that are more aligned with our goals and values. So take the next smallest step. Last unquantifiable thing that actually really counts towards getting towards your goals. And that is going to be, what is the quality of your self-talk? So an easy way to explain self-talk is, what is that little narrator in your head saying? What is that inner voice saying? Is it overly negative? Is it overly critical? Is it harsh? Is it telling you that you're a failure? Or is it overly positive? Is it overly optimistic? The narrator in your head is going to determine a lot of the way you feel because, from a psychological perspective, thoughts drive feelings, feelings drive behaviors. Now, they all sort of interact and impact each other. But if the quality of your self talk is overly negative, that is going to drive lower moods, higher anxieties, and then also behaviors that aren't aligned with what you want to do. So, we need to begin monitoring our self talk and modifying it a little bit. So, your action step here is to step number one, notice a name. Again, we have to notice either what we're feeling or what we're thinking. Notice the negative self talk. Notice if you're thinking you're a failure. Notice if you're thinking X, Y, or Z. And then you want to shift your perspective and turn into your own coach. What do I mean by that? So, what I mean by that is you want to use your own name, use your first name, and you want to coach yourself through the situation. Or you can talk to yourself more explicitly and in a lengthier fashion. But I found that having a short coaching phrase is actually really helpful. So my coaching phrase is, come on, Josh, you got this. Now, why does this help? Some of the research does show that by shifting that perspective, changing that language can help motivate us through a very trying and hard situation. It helps us get out of our head and allows us to utilize language to get some distance from negative thoughts and be supportive of the things that we want to do. So with those three things in mind, pair that with the first video. And if you didn't watch the first video on the variables that you can count and actually count, you should check that one out too. Pair these together, and I have no doubt that you will be able to reach your training and nutrition goals more effectively. And if you're interested, check out part 3 coming out next week on your survival plan. And this is going to help you because having a plan for possible negative situations that occur is going to be an effective way to manage your negative emotions and your negative thoughts in a way that doesn't require a lot of brain power. So hopefully I see you all next week. Hopefully this was helpful. If it was, hit subscribe, leave me a comment, and I'll catch you all in the next episode for something bodybuilding or bodybuilding and psychology related. See ya.